What if your biggest burden is actually your greatest blessing? Meet David, a man drowning in his own success. Every morning, he'd wake up with a knot in his stomach, his mind racing with endless calculations, mortgage payments, school fees, grocery bills, insurance premiums. The weight of being the sole provider for his family felt like carrying a mountain on his shoulders. His days had become a relentless cycle of worry and irritation. The sound of laughter from his children felt like noise disrupting his mental math. His wife's simple requests became additional burdens in his already overloaded mind. Even the sight of relatives visiting their home triggered anxiety about unexpected expenses and hosting costs. David had transformed from a loving father and husband into a walking storm cloud. His children learned to tiptoe around him, and conversations with his wife had dwindled to practical necessities. The man who once found joy in family gatherings now saw only dollar signs and mounting responsibilities. One evening, after another exhausting day at work, David came home to find his 8-year-old son Tommy waiting with his homework notebook. "Dad, can you help me write about this topic?" Tommy asked innocently, holding up his assignment. David barely glanced at the page. "Not now, Tommy. I'm tired and have bills to review." His voice carried that familiar edge of frustration that had become his default tone. Tommy's face fell, but he quietly retreated to his room without argument. An hour later, guilt began gnawing at David's conscience. He realized he'd been snapping at his children more frequently, and tonight's dismissal felt particularly harsh. He climbed the stairs to Tommy's room to apologize, expecting to find his son upset or angry. Instead, he discovered Tommy fast asleep at his small desk, his head resting on his arm, homework notebook still open beneath him. The pencil had rolled from his tiny fingers onto the floor. David's heart melted at the sight. He gently lifted his son and tucked him into bed, then picked up the notebook to close it. That's when the homework title caught his eye. "Write about things that seem bad at first, but turn out to be good." Curiosity overrode his fatigue. He sat down and read Tommy's completed assignment. "I'm grateful for dentist visits because they hurt at first, but then my teeth stop aching and I can eat candy again without pain. I thank my strict teacher because her punishments feel mean, but she helps me learn better than other kids in different classes. I'm thankful for rainy days that cancel our picnics because we end up having indoor movie marathons with popcorn instead. I thank my dad's busy work schedule because even though he's tired when he comes home, it means he has a good job that buys us our house, our food, and lets Mom stay home with us. Most of all, I'm grateful for my dad's worried face because it shows he cares so much about our family that he thinks about us all the time." David's hands trembled as he reread the last paragraph. His son's innocent words hit him like lightning, illuminating truths he'd been blind to for months. He sat in the quiet room, his son's breathing the only sound, and began examining his life through Tommy's eyes. Yes, he carried financial responsibility, but that meant he had the privilege of providing for people he loved. Yes, relatives visited frequently, but that meant his family was surrounded by a network of relationships and support. Yes, expenses were constant, but that meant they lived comfortably, with choices and opportunities that millions of families could only dream of. His stress about school fees meant his children were getting quality education. His worry about the mortgage meant they owned a home filled with love and memories. For the first time in months, David felt his shoulders relax. The knot in his stomach began to unravel. His burdens hadn't disappeared, but somehow they felt lighter, transformed from crushing weights into meaningful purposes. He knelt beside Tommy's bed and whispered, "Thank you, son. You've taught your old dad something incredible tonight." The next morning, David woke up different. The same bills waited on his desk. The same responsibilities beckoned. But his perspective had shifted completely. Instead of seeing problems, he began recognizing privileges. Instead of feeling trapped by obligations, he felt empowered by his ability to fulfill them. The truth is simple yet profound. Our greatest struggles often disguise our greatest blessings. Sometimes it takes the innocent wisdom of a child to help us see that what we perceive as our heaviest burdens might actually be evidence of our richest lives.